Hi, I wish to talk to you about the pregnancy of the father. And this is quite a new concept that's come from the last discovery about epigenetics and that come with the evolution of our society. Effectively, we know today that what built the health, the physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual health of your children come from five factors that epigenetic has described and that has been admitted by the whole world, the whole scientific community since 10 years now, 12 exactly, in 2008. And it is about the food and all the toxics that can affect the body, the movement, the quality of the movement, to have a fluid movement, fluid breathing during the pregnancy, and some activity, fluid, not hurting. Managing the stress, it's a whole concept that go with certain techniques that help managing better the stress. The fourth concept is how you have good moment in your life, how you fulfill your dreams, your commitments, everything that elevates you, that makes you feel happy, hobby, everything that uplift you and light you or kindle you. That's what the term I'm looking for. And the last and not the least is the efficiency of your social network. In this social network, you have to be aware that the most component is your partner. After, of course, your family, your parents-in-laws, your friends, but you leave the main time with your partner, with eventually your children when you're pregnant. So, as a father, what's come with that? Because you realize that one of your first impact on your baby is the relationship you weave with your partner. Of course, you could pay attention to the food she eats, the movement, how she breathes, how she manages stress, help her to manage the stress and remove stress from her, help her to amuse her, which is one of the wonderful tasks of the pregnancy of the father, to uplift the light, to make life more joyful, to kindle your daily life. That's all that are amazing things to do, of course, and as part of the pregnancy of the father. But one thing which is very important is to nurture and to work on the quality of the relationship you have with your partner when she's pregnant. And that leads to the concept of the Russian dolls. The mother is pregnant, of course, of the baby, but the father can be pregnant not of the baby only. Of course, you think to the baby, this baby carry half of your genes, and you resonate with these children growing into your partner. But she's in charge of this body, of literally in a womb. And you can become yourself the womb of your wife and be pregnant of her. So this concept, in fact, is much more simple than it appears. It's about nesting her. And nesting her is about doing something that's the woman brains is much more sensitive and very nurturing than most of man brain. It's don't want to go too much in generality, but it's more a fact. It's about hormones. It's about estrogens. Estrogens are connective hormones, when testosterone is more achieving hormones, targeting. So to trigger you, to interest you as a man in this process, it's important to define a target, to have your testosterone that serve the estrogen of your wife. And when both together, you have a perfect pregnancy for the baby. Both hormones are commit to help this baby to develop his or her best potential. And so, how to have a target? So I want to be romantic and touch your man's heart. I'm talking about what is in front of the heart, the wallet, to be very romantic. And as in terms of aim and objective, there is in our true nature to pay attention of the matter, that things go well, that we have enough money, that we have enough support, security, and everything get well. So this anxiety, which is a normal physiological anxiety of the father during the pregnancy, we could use it for good reasons. And for that, when you learn with epigenetics that if your partner, if the mother of your child is happy, when you have happy mother, you have happy baby, you have happy societies. So it impacts the whole world. And so you have, in other words, healthy children, physically, emotionally, intellectually, blah, blah, blah. So what is the consequence of that? You have a children that make less problems, that is more healthy, so cost less in terms of money. So you show your future in the present moment by investing in something that is just 9 months of investment, but have a return for the whole life. Return of health, return of being strong, of being an attached children to you, that will always dialogue and be good connect to you. So you make the investment that no money, no activities, no achievement can give you never in your life. And the root of this investment is during the pregnancy. And when you test the savior it's give to your couple, in general, you keep going to do that the rest of your life. Because something is linked to how our brain is developed, and we come back to testosterone. It's linked to, or it participate to have a very 2D brain, like a target, an axis like that to target our aim. And this 2D brain is very focused on going forward, always forward. And being equipped, it's not us as men, because as men we are a being first before being men. But being in this body of men, we tend to have this tendency. Our survival mode is a bit controlled by this tendency, and we have to master it. But to master it, we have to feed it in a certain way, to use it, or to use it for our good. Knowing that our brain works like that, it's important to have this target that investing, that we tend to go forward all the time. And that leads to certain error that all guys do, is that we tend to look for the person that resonates with us, seduce her or enchant her, which is better, eventually marry her, live with her, having a baby with, and we tend to keep going. So thinking of the house, of the money, of the future and all that. And in this process, we forget the first moment, the honeymoon effect, the moment where we were in the inspiration, in the deep connection. And that is something fundamental in the woman brain, which don't define the woman. I mean, they are being behind that. But it's important to meet our needs. So when you pay attention how to reschedule, and I talk about scheduling because it's not natural with our type of brain we have, to reschedule meeting with your partner as you made when you want first to be really close to her. So when you think about it, if you have a dog, you go at least 2 times a day to take care of this dog. And when you think about it in the fact, even though we cannot compare, you tend to not having this same privileged moment with your partner, which is a shame. And in fact, you know how your dog is happy. So you could imagine that you could make your baby happy by making your wife happy. And your wife deserves it perhaps 10 times more than your dog. So I say that it's look a bit rude, but technically I know we all love the partner we are with if we have this chance to be well assorted. And again, sometimes the love diminishes just because we forget to nurture, to pour this relationship with our presence, with our intention. Any relationship, in fact, is nurtured by meeting. And the brain we have, very focused on, very targeted, tend to forget that. So it's in that we tend to keep going and forget to meet the person we love the more, which is absolutely stupid. When you know now the impact it has on a baby, that you can be the first person that enchant her and re-nurture what they call in epigenetic an efficient relationship, something that is one of the 5th most important factor for the health of your children at every level. Wow, suddenly we have a strong target. So it's about time to have this target, to have this aim every day, to have an appointment with your wife, to meet her, to really to do outing. If you cannot every day, at least 2-3 times a week, and it will be sometime more that you ever done before she's pregnant. And when you start to see how it's enchanting to connect, to meet each other again, to weave deeper links, deeper connection, you will see that it's true, not just because she's a woman. Every living beings react to meetings, to dialogues, to connect to each other. And when you have this connection, suddenly, wow, there is something that flow amongst the two person, and this flowing, who is going to benefit of it? Of course, your baby. So you use your brain. Male brain tend to work with target, with testosterone, with going forward, but you bring back the connection with your wife, and every day, couple time a day or couple time a week, do your best. But if you have no time to go with her because I don't know, you're too busy with certain habit you have, go with her doing stuff outside. Go with her to shop in Canadian Tire or any shop that you used to go, which are more for your, I don't know, for your activities that you believe she's not interested with. But the fact that you invite her and you make her part of your life, if it's look a bit boring, it won't be, because you make her with you. And that looks too simple, but that's a secret, a kind of grandpa secret that completely change the life. As soon as you integrate people you love in your life, you nurture it, and you increase it's exponential what you can develop, and it's never boring, because you have to come to bet on the fact that there is always element. When two people are together, third element come, inspiration, new thought, new emotion, new sensation, new ideas. And it's come because you need to be two to create a third. So meeting, outing, dating is fundamental. So this is one of the first aspects. A second aspect is to understand that when you enter and you really you accept this challenge, you take this challenge for something very important for you and for your family, you will be able suddenly to pass through the 3 stages all women go through. They have morning sickness. It means that suddenly they have to go inwardly. When your wife is pregnant, you lose her a little bit, because hormone, morning sickness, all that, you lose the connection you have before. Something die in your relationship. It's obliged to internalize you, to nest inside you, to connect with the fatherhood that is, oh, now I'm not just being nurtured by her. I have to go to find my resources, my strengths. I have to go inside me to discover who I am, because I'm suddenly lonely. I was in love, we have a baby, woof, and suddenly I discover more loneliness. But in the loneliness, in the very spiritual state of being, in a moment where you expect a baby, when you have a woman who is so happy to expect a baby. So it's a very happy moment. So it's not a sad loneliness, it's a happy loneliness. A moment to get inside you, to have your retreat and discover all resources that sometimes be superficial, to be commit to many things. You never have the time to discover better yourself. When you do that, you discover wonder, beauty in you. You discover strength, richness, things that you want to share. And you enter in the second stage of pregnancy, when your wife starts to feel the baby. She starts to discover relationship. And when you get inside you to discover other aspect of yourself, suddenly you want to share it. When you discover a treasure, you want to share it. So you can accompany this process on the second trimester of the pregnancy, and be really much more in the sharing, much more in the dating. Sometimes the first trimester, with the morning sickness and all that, she's sometimes less open to that. But the second trimester is the perfect moment to date her, to reconnect, to make her sharing some new aspect of yourself, and discover something new, which is just giving your best to her instead to trading. And be like this pregnant father, pregnant of her, that want to feed her, nurture her, to make her discover the best things, listen to the best music, watching the best tree, listening to the best rivers. So you're in this mood like when you're with your best friend, when you want to share everything and discover the whole world together. It's a new honeymoon. And because you got this moment of internalization, when you have access to another aspect of yourself that since you work, since you're in an active life, sometimes you haven't got the time to do. Thanks to the fact that your wife had give you this space because she's too busy with the pregnancy, physically especially. And after that, you enter to the third part of the pregnancy, which is the moment where, for most of women, they can no longer move. They have to completely forget their body. They are in a moment of sacrifice in a certain way. They have to disappear to just concentrate on the baby, move the less, breathe the less. So they diminish themselves to let the baby appear. It is a very symbolic and deep state of being when that all people that develop themselves have to go through. You have to diminish a bit your self-centering to make a project appear. Everybody who wants to make studies, who learn a new job, have to do sacrifice. They have to disappear in their tantrum, in their leisure, in their losing time to concentrate and make effort to make this new learning, this new job coming, or profession coming. Same thing, but much more high with a baby. When you diminish yourself to make a new beings coming on earth, it's wonderful. It's a moment where you want to diminish all your selfishness or self-centering for someone coming, and this person become just the center of your interests, and you start to access of the highest level of consciousness, which is the true love, the love which is towards someone, to make someone healthy, to make someone happy, to make someone, and this is the best preparation to become a parent, because it is all about that. All your life long you will have to face this. Are you able to find this state of consciousness to make someone higher than you, more happy than you, more healthy than you? And when you're in this state of being, of course the first benefit of that is yourself, because it's cross yourself. And for the father, it is the same thing. When suddenly you see that your wife can no longer move, everything is around her, she's become the center of your family in your life. This is a moment you really do the same and be completely dedicated to her, and play music for her, sing for her if you like that, paint with her. Take this moment to just nurture this last moment of the pregnancy and cultivate the best. And together, but everything is dedicated to her and to the baby. So suddenly you come from a relationship which is most of the time like that, trading, meeting, you give me that, I give you that, and if you don't give me that, I return, or this kind of couple thing which is very sterile, to suddenly meet together in something and go along together in an objective, in this true love, where the emergence, the happiness of someone is more important than yours. And when you're in this state, most of the time is where you discover the pride, you discover the kind of glory, something that makes you so happy. To be proud is not something so easy in life. We tend normally to pay our pleasure. I give that, I deserve that. Who is proud of that? But when you overpass yourself, when you give, when you achieve something that you cannot do, when you try to, and when you help people, you make them more happy, not just help of disease, but really make an effort to create a good atmosphere, ambiences around you. You're like happy and in love, and you experience intensity in life like never before. So it's never lose, it's like a sacrifice, but plus because suddenly you do something sacred, you do something which is true love, which is a love where you don't expect anything else than savoring the love that you share, the love that you trigger, the atmosphere, the joy that you trigger. So, third trimester is wonderful, and it sets you to become this father, able to maintain this atmosphere all your life long with your children, and always value more that part above all the duty, but always the atmosphere, the ambience, and knowing that when you're in this state of being, the creativity, all the potential of a child will completely emerge, exactly like epigenetic has proved it. and you pass from developing your children instead to be in the loneliness, in the indifference, and in the stress of the pregnancy that develop just a resistance being, like an animal, very resistant to anything. Instead, with all this attention, this love, this joy, this peaceful atmosphere and joyful and fun, and we like so much that as guys, it's easy for our brain to make fun. You develop a children which is resilient instead to be resistant. And that's what we want. When you're resilient, it's like passing from walking to have a spaceship, you know? Resilience help to be much more than resistance. It will make children that no longer accept to be dominated, but are going to take every stress and pressure on them like a forces to create electricity, to create energy, to create happiness. So they will be like judoka that take this energy to give them energy and more than, because it's again a martial art, but more than that, you know, to use all the elements that come, all the stress that come, to be creative and co-creative with them, instead to just resist to them and make their effect on you stronger and dominate you and make you more and more tight in your life. The opposite, you learn how to play with the forces that come to you, because you develop a resilience, and resilience comes with atmosphere, joy, love, tenderness, dialogue, attention. Love starts with respect, attention, consideration, esteem. And when you do that to your wife, to your baby during the pregnancy, wow, what a pregnancy of the father. And if you haven't got the chance to do it when your wife was pregnant, you can redo that and rebuild that all along you have the lifelong to do that with your children and with your partner. I hope you enjoyed that. Have a great day.